This is Dave at Active Intel Investigations. One of the common types of cases we've been asked to work on lately is due diligence on a real estate purchase. And in these cases, it's not a commercial building or something that has, a larger financial research. It's a residential purchase, and it's due diligence on what's going around that property. For example, you're buying a house in a neighborhood. To some extent, you're buying that neighborhood. So verifying things like the makeup of the neighborhood in terms of finances, law enforcement call-outs. Is there a lot of crime in that neighborhood? Are there things like barking dogs? Are there disputes between neighbors? Are there things like a lot of people coming and going into the neighborhood, maybe that are up to no good? One of the things we found is by doing a social media search on the close neighbors of that subject property, you can get a sense for what the fabric or kind of what the nature of the community is going to be like. Are these people that are kind of similar to what you want to be around? Are they professionals? Are there people that have a high degree of concern and ethics and maybe even participation in the improvement of the neighborhood? A lot of times you won't see that looking at a house 2 or 3 times, spending 45 minutes there, because you may not be there all times a day. So in some cases, seeing what happens at different hours or on weekends is a valuable piece of information. You're making a $500,000 or $600,000 or $700,000 investment. You probably do a lot of due diligence if you were going to make that investment in a business or in stocks or in some other type of commodity. So buying a house is more than just saying, is the house that valuable? Is the structure and the property? It's looking at your lifestyle, because you're going to spend your entire life in and around the people in that area. You want to make sure that the personality and the flavor that you're seeing by visiting it is actually the same of once you're there. So things like social media, things like references in Craigslist. What's being bought and sold on Craigslist in that area? Are there neighborhood forums like nextdoor.com that you can look to see what type of people are there? How are they communicating? Is there a lot of swearing and people bullying each other? Or is it more of a comfortable type of professional or family environment that you're interested in? You can also glean a lot of information for photos that are on other ads, things like for lease ads for properties in the area. Are there a lot of Airbnb properties that might have parties from people visiting, or a lot of cars in the neighborhood, or parking problems? These are all things that a very concise and limited investigation of that community, of that street, of the properties around it can really help you understand what you're buying into. The house might be your dream house. It might have the granite countertops, the stainless kitchen, but if the people around you, whether it's the noise, whether it's the crime, whether it's the social morals of the people in that neighborhood are going to be offensive to you, all of those other creature comforts in that house are not going to have any value if you have to live within an environment that's not conducive to the upbringing of your children or maintaining your finances. So some basic due diligence on a neighborhood. You can do a lot of it yourself. If you'd like to get more in depth, we'd be glad to help you with that. It's a very reasonable thing compared to an $800,000 or $900,000 investment in a property you're going to live at for 10 or 15 years.